Hey guys, thank you for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. Once again, we are on here with our 14th day to 30 days to taming the tongue. Took a little break on yesterday, wasn't feeling well, wasn't feeling well today. As you guys can see, I got on my mother-in-law calls it a dashiki, you know, one of those kind of, I guess it's called a, oh gosh, I don't know. I would stand up. Let me see. This type of thing, you know, that goes all the way down and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, dress form, but very, very comfortable. Been in it all day today. Did a little homework, was up ever since early. Dead tired right now. Dead tired. But I do not want to come to you guys and say that I'm going to come every day and then end up not showing up 2 and 3 days out of the week. Don't want to do that. I want to stay very, very consistent. So we are on our 14th day of 30 Days to Taming the Tongue. This is a book by Deborah Smith Pegoose. I will put all of the information in the description box. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to be reminded of each and every video I upload. Please share it out. I have been told that a lot of people have been sharing it out. And you know, I just want to say this. I want you guys to know that I am in no ways perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us. If I was perfect, I wouldn't have all these nice little bags under my eyes. I wouldn't have missed yesterday. A challenge is a challenge, and if you fall off the wagon, so to speak, you just get back up and you get back on it again. So we have about 2 more weeks of our 30 days of this challenge, and we are going to finish it, and we're going to finish it well. Day 14, we are talking about the cynical tongue, the cynical tongue. And I sat my butt on my other glasses, so I have these on today. And these are actually very, very nice as far as being able to look at the camera, as well as being able to look at my paperwork as far as my little notes, and to read the book. So this might be a really good prescription here. The first thing that I want to start with is I want to give you guys a definition of what cynical means. Cynical means a type of cynical person is a person that believes and is motivated by their own interests, by self-interest. They have distrust of humans and distrust of the humans' sincerity or their integrity. So basically, this is a standoffish, kind of skeptical individual, in addition to a lot of other things that we'll be discussing. So the scripture reference that is on this day 14, chapter 14, is Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. And it's blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Now, when this chapter first started off, it was talking about how Eliab, who was David's brother, he's actually David's older brother. When David went and fought Goliath, Eliab said that he could go in and he could take over. He wasn't intimidated by the Israelites. He knew that he could go in and he could take over these giants. He could do what it was that he needed to do. He was very indignant, and he confidently stated that he would be able to take care of these uncircumcised Philistines. Well, what ended up happening is that this particular bully, who was David's older sister named Eliab, had no relationship with God. He had no relationship with God. He had no covenant with God. He was just a talker. Okay, that's all he was doing. He was just bumping his gums. So when he heard David actually speaking to the men and telling the men that what he was going to do, he became angry about it. Elib, his name meant God is my father. However, he was not a child of God. He was very disobedient. He was very cocky. He was very cynical. And so what we have to understand is the cynical person is the type of person that literally scorns the motives of others. So what do we mean when we say that? They're like venom. What is venom? Venom is poisonous. Venom is what comes out of the snake's mouth when they are, hissing at you. So what the cynical person does in their cynicism is they poison the whole entire atmosphere wherever they are, whatever they're doing. Their being cynical is always going to be present. When we choose to resort to cynicism, that's what it's called, cynicism, the act of being cynical, we poison our very own spirits. We poison our very own self, as well as the spirits of all the others around us. It's like one of those types of things where you have like plagues, and the plague spreads. This is a horrible explanation or horrible example, but it is what it is. Cynicalism is like a cancer. Like most people say, when people have cancer and they have a surgery and they cut them open, it starts to spread and it metastasizes a lot of times to all of the other organs. Same difference with one that is cynical. Once you start the negative talk, it kind of gathers the people around you, and then they kind of jump on the bandwagon. If there is a cynical person around, a cynical person in your presence, whether that person be an employee, a family member, a church member, if they are in your midst, if they are in your presence, if they are hanging around you quite often, pretty soon, sooner or later, one of those weaker persons will adopt and will take on the attitude of the cynical person. They will begin chiming in their conversations. They will begin perpetrating the negative conversation. They will begin spreading the conversation. So being cynical, negative, not believing in people, not believing the trueness of people, not believing the sincerity of others can wreak havoc on relationships in almost any environment. You don't want to fall into the cynical nature. No one does. The writer in the book states that she had former employees, and when she had former employees, she was a boss over them. There was a time when she would have mandatory meetings. These mandatory meetings would be lunch meetings. They would be at the same time every month. They would be on the same day every month, and they were mandatory for certain events and certain projects that needed to be done. Those projects had deadlines. They had certain qualifications and certain things that needed to be in place to ensure that when the event went forth, the event was without fail. There was always a negative sourpuss, she said. It was always a negative sourpuss. This particular person always managed to put a damper on all the outings with all of her cynical remarks. She always had something negative to say about the company, something negative to say about how they did things, something negative to say about how they went about doing decorations. Eventually, what ended up happening, the boss, who is the writer of this book, decided that she wasn't going to let that cynical personality even be in her presence. So what she did is she allowed that person, that one person, to just start missing these mandatory meetings. Because what was happening is Miss Cynical was coming with her negative Nancy attitude, not believing and trusting in people, not wanting to work together with people, just being completely and utterly disruptive. She didn't want that to continue. So what she did is she allowed her to stay at the office. It was easier for her to distance this rude, cynical person from the other employees to prevent the negative from spreading. So, as we proceed further on in this tongue fast, because this is a 30-day tongue fast, of bettering ourselves. No, we are not perfect. No, we are not putting ourselves on a scale as if we're all high and mighty. No, we aren't doing that. But we are saying that we're doing all that we can within this 30 days to kind of change the way that we speak, to change the way that we even see things. And not only that, the way that we even physically see things, but the way that we even verbally speak on those things. So as we begin and go further in this tongue fast, we need to begin to observe our comments. We need to begin to observe our compliments and determine when and if they are being cynical or scornful. Because that's one thing, if you're on a fast, that's something that you don't want to find yourself in. So what I want you to do, I want you to challenge yourself, is to think of a time recently when you used your cynical tongue to sway another from doing that was good. What did you gain from it? Having studied this study thus far, think about what you would do next time and what you would do differently. This particular chapter was very, very short, but it did hit a lot of nuggets of how the cynical tongue and the cynical person can end up being a venom that spreads. So the easiest way to prevent the spread is to remove that person from the whole environment so that they don't poison the entire environment. Very good study. So today's affirmation is, I am blessed because I do not walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. That is it for our day 14 of the Cynical Tongue. Go ahead and put some comments down in the comment section if you want to ask me anything about the Cynical Tongue. Now we're going to go over to day 13, which was the belittling tongue. I really, really, really enjoyed the belittling tongue because sometimes we're not even aware of how we can be belittling people and belittling others. A lot of times, obviously, we know when we're belittling people. Why is his hair going over that way? It has a mind of its own. Sometimes we know when we are belittling people, but a lot of times we don't really even know. So I'm going to give you 3 pointers, as I always do, of the previous chapter or the previous day. So the one thing that we want to do to prevent from having a belittling tongue is don't let unwholesome talk come out of our mouth about somebody, about a situation. Ask yourself, number 2, are you so insecure that you'll do anything or say anything to make yourself feel better about you? You will belittle someone to make yourself feel better? Looks like to me you need to get yourself into some serious prayer and self-reflection. Remember, and this is probably the most important thing that I read about the chapter, words can tear down or they can build up. What words do you choose to speak on today? So that has been our day 14 of the Cynical Tongue, as well as an overview of day 13 of the belittling tongue. Go ahead and put some comments down in the comment section. This little video looks like it's going to be under 15 minutes. Woo, woo, woo. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share And also click on the bell to be reminded of each and every video that I upload. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.